Hi everybody, welcome back to Daily Endeavours for the 7th of June. Jackson, as always, there'll be timestamps in the description if you want to just skip to one of the options in particular. You just don't want to listen to all the other stuff. So, this set is okay. Only 10 seals, not really any awful options, but nothing really good. So, picking locks, deconstructing, frost satros, damage to siege weapons versus in the Infinite Archive. I'd go pick locks, items at a Clothier table, and siege weapons if you're if you can find a campaign where it's just like your side's just like, I mean, it's not super important, but I prefer ones where you own a couple of like the initial keeps, just so that the areas in the tutorial zones aren't accessible by enemy players. Otherwise, like, there might be a slight chance that they could come and annoy you, but it's pretty rare that that happens, but I just like to be sure. And then versus in the Infinite Archive is fine. Doesn't take long, and it's a base game thing. But yeah, picking locks first. I'll just quickly cover this. I only really suggest you come to this location in Skywatch. Skywatch in the middle of Oridon here. If you want to get here easily, just use Barbed Hook Private Inn Room in Home Tours. Just go to Browse Homes and look that house up in this menu here. And then you can just use that to travel here quickly. The reason I like to come here is these three houses here are always locked, and they have a simple lock, so they're very easy to get through. The only thing you need to make sure is that those Dominion guards don't come too close. If they're coming close, you'll see the little invisible icon underneath the lockpicking UI. You'll see that open up. If it does, it might be worth just leaving the pickpocketing menu and just like turning around, because if they see why you're doing this, you get a bounty, and it's not great. But it's pretty straightforward doing them, so do that one, and then this one over here you usually don't have to worry, because guards don't come up to this one. It's just the other two. So as soon as you get here, you're pretty much good to go. Just open this one. Now don't force the locks, because it doesn't count. You have to actually pick the lock yourself. The other method for picking locks is to go into a public dungeon and find all the chests in there. The ones I would suggest you use is Forgotten Crypts in Rivenspire. There's also Obsidian Scars, pretty good. This one's very small, and the amount of chests is very like dense, so you can usually find them pretty quick there. Another good one usually is Bankrai, especially if you don't have Ring of the Pale Order yet and you want that mythic. One of the leads is in here via treasure chest, so it might be worth trying to look for those. And then Labyrinthian is also another good one. I tend to use this one too. I will link in the description all the maps for all the like chest locations, because I've pretty much mapped them all out, so you might be able to use those. But I would prefer using picking locks here, because it's only 3 and there's 3 doors and they're always locked. Like, it's not like one's unlocked sometimes, they're always locked, so you can always rely on them. Now, as far as clothing deconstruction goes, again, there's 2 options here. There's the Skywatch option. I always call it that. Skywatch option. Because as you can see behind me, there's a bunch of stuff on these stalls. The only thing is you'll want a Nightblade for this, and then I'll show you like a non-Nightblade option that's also very easy. You just have to be level 10. So this area here, you've got the Tailor, and then you've got the Armorer. I don't know where that... Oh, there's the Leatherworker. So what you do is, don't go crouch, because that won't work. All you have to do is use Cloak. So Cloak away, and then just start grabbing stuff, as you can see here. As long as you don't accidentally talk to people, or run out of magicka and can't cloak anymore, you'll be fine. Now what you do is just come over to the Clothier station over here and deconstruct everything that way. And that's, yeah. So it's just a way to do it without requiring any materials. Obviously, you can just come to a clothing station, just craft something that 8 things that aren't the chest piece or the leg piece, just because they cost more resources. But it's a fair bit of resources doing it this way. You do get a little bit back, but why not do it in a way that it's free, right? Like, why make it harder for yourself? The other option is Imperial City. I'll show you what I usually do. So the areas in Imperial City are a little bit different, but they all have the same thing. They've got similar things. Like you walk around and you'll find clothing and leather stuff, just like littered all over the place. You just got to know where to look. And the main thing is they're different in each place. Like there'll be different locations for everything. So in this case, you've got a helmet here. You've got boots. You got boots here. It's a little bit annoying to get them, but yeah, you got some stuff there. Some boots. I think those are heavy. Yeah, sabatons, heavy. In the literal opposite side of the entire place, you'll also have these items here. So you've got a jerkin, you've got a boots. The rest is just heavy armor. I think these are boots. Yeah, so there's another item there. Some gloves. So you just gotta look around a bit. There's some more stuff. There's some light armor stuff. Some light armor stuff there. So yeah, and if there's not enough here, if you end up finding like 7 items and you're like, God damn it, I only need like 1 thing left. It's okay. Oh, yeah, here they all are. So that was probably like 14 or 15 items in total. But if there's not enough in the area, because sometimes you'll get really unlucky and not enough stuff will spawn. It's just like the way that instances work in this game and containers. All you have to do is just go out the door here, the one that shows up with this circular icon. Just leave, go back to Imperial City, and everything will respawn, and you can just collect everything you need again, and that's it. So just 2 really good ways to do this without costing you any resources, which is what you want from endeavors. You want this stuff to be long lasting and like quick and like not requiring any resources. So that's the best endeavors, I think. Dealing dangerous siege weapons. So firstly, you're going to need a siege weapon. I suggest you get a pact or just a Alliance Firebolt Ballista, because they deal good fire damage and then they deal damage over time after hitting the target. So 1 good hit with one of these and that's all it takes to complete this endeavor. It's very quick. Most of the time will usually be spent either getting to the location or just shooting it. Now the main thing I like to do here, firstly, just make sure these 3 keeps are under your control, or at least these 2 here, because then, as I said before, these gates will open up and enemy players can actually come in here and like go around this area, so you might be in danger. The odds of that happening is pretty low because there's nothing of value out here, but maybe the scroll might be under attack and people might be running all over the place to try and get it. But yeah, usually it's fine. Yeah, just to be safe. So Volendrung spawn locations, these are what you're looking for each alliance. There's one here for Ebonheart Pact. For Dominion, it's over here. And for Daggerfall Covenant, it's over here. These locations are important because what they have is 3 Golden Saints. You can see one of them there. So what I suggest you do is you grab your Firebolt Ballista, you chuck it on the ground near, and it might be too far away. Just move a little bit closer. It's a bit of a mess around thing to figure out the best spot for it. But yeah, so place it on the ground using a quick slot option. Missed again. And just try and get a feel for it. It does take a little bit of messing around. Max distance, you want to hit the Golden Saints. Try and hit multiple at the same time, like that. Because what that'll do is you'll hit them, deal initial fire damage, and then it'll deal damage over time. And as you can see, just hitting 2 of them was all that I needed in order to do this. And the reason I just want to hit them once is what will happen is they'll reset, and then they'll walk back. And what that does is it means that the NPCs survive and go back to full health. So if somebody else wants to do this, it means you're not stopping them from being able to do it too. Just good for other players if they want to do this in the long run. So yeah, and then you can just hold on to the Firebolt Ballista for a while until that one runs out, and then you just buy another one. So it does require... they're not cheap. They're 750 gold each, but 750 gold lasts multiple runs of using a Firebolt Ballista. So it's not like you're spending 750 gold each time. It's probably like 100 or 200 gold each time, maybe. So it's not a super crazy investment. And that being said, you can buy these on guild stores too. You can see one on guild store there for 12 gold. So if you're really lucky, you can find stuff like that. So definitely keep an eye out for that, because the odds are you'll see ballistas like Firebolt ballistas on guild stores somewhere, and they will be way cheaper than 750 gold each. I can almost guarantee you that. Okay, so Iron Atronachs. There is a place that is relatively easy to access that I recommend you use, and it's this location here in Spellscar. This is the only real place I would suggest that you go to, because there's not many places in this game that are easy to go through that have lots of these things. There's like a couple of dungeons, DLC dungeons, One of these in particular is Ice Reach. Depths of Malatar as well. I can't... Where is Depths of Malatar? I've never been there, so I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh no, that's Black Drake Villa. Where is it? Depths of Malatar, there we go. So those 3 options there. Depths of Malatar, Frostvault Chasm, or Frostvault Chasm to House, and Ice Reach. Those DLC dungeons have Frost Atronachs in them, but they are tough. You need to go through most of the dungeon to get to them. And they're paid for, so not everyone's going to have access to them. This area here, though, has about, I'd say, 15 spawns of Frost Atronachs, but they die super quick. Like, everyone kills them super fast. But yeah, you can run through, and as you can see, judging by all this, that's what a Frost Atronach looks like, these bad boys. Just find 5 of those, just run on your mount along until you see one, and then just spam one attack on it. Like just go straight in and hit it. Because you don't have long to hit it, unfortunately. Everyone goes nuts. You can try and be a bit more civil, just like hit it once. Just do a couple of hits, just to let other people get a bit of damage in. But it's going to be rough no matter what, for most people, I think. Just they die so fast. But you can just chill here for a bit. What I would do is stay in this side, because there's like 3 Frost Atronachs that sort of spawn in this area here, down this like little strip. And yeah, so you can just chill here for a bit, and as soon as they spawn, get them. Now, also companions sometimes can automatically start attacking them. So if you can't see one right next to you, they might do it. But I think you have to enter combat for that to happen, and I only think that happens if you're standing next to it for a while and nobody else hits it anyway. So yeah, a little bit unreliable. The only other place I know of that's good is this place here. It's called Willow Grove. Just south of this station. The easiest way to get here would probably be Sleet Creek or one of the houses nearby. Oh, actually, no. No, it'd be either Sleet Creek up here or Serenity Falls Estate. One of those two would probably work well in home tours. As for Cragmorn, probably the quickest way to get here is either the house up here, Hackfield's High Hall, or Eleanor Private Arena down here. One of those two will lead you over here, and it's got the waste ones here, so you've got access to it in the future. There is also a hidden dungeon over here somewhere that has 4 in it, but you have to complete the quest for Ozoga, and you need to get the last quest there, and it's also Orsinium, so not everyone's going to have access to it, so yeah. And it's only 4, and you have to wait for them to respawn. It's not great. The last place I should point out is they are very rarely seen at Dolmens. Like, they're one of the tier 1 enemies that can spawn, and in that case, if you're lucky, you can find 10 or 15 there, so you can easily get it done there. But the odds of that happening is pretty low. There's a lot of different enemy types, and there's only one that counts for this, so yeah, not great. But it's not super terrible. It's a base game option, and you can kind of just chill here, like fighting world bosses while you wait. Just watch YouTube in the background. Infinite Archive Verses. So you get these from stages, which just take a couple of minutes in Infinite Archives. So it can be found here in Necrom. Now, despite it being in the DLC, it doesn't require it to be able to access it. You can actually use this in base game. So everybody has access to this. It's just that you can only travel here via Wayshrine. Now, as far as enemy strength goes, it's probably like the enemies are about as tough as you'd find in like a normal dungeon, maybe. But there's only a few enemies at a time, so it's not too bad. Now, I probably wouldn't worry about the quest, just on the basis that you only need 2 stages to get 2 verses, and you're not going to complete the quest by doing that. So as soon as you enter this black circle, it spawns some enemies. Best way to go about this is to go straight for the range enemy, because odds are the melee enemies will come into the AoE that you create for the range enemy. So you can just group them all up in the same spot and make it easy to kill them all. I'll try and I'm trying to wait for this Strider to bloody come up to me. Is that all they do? I never knew. That fucking Grimfolker's double barrel shotgun thing is so silly. Okay, so the third stage, or the third wave, sorry, you always get one of these tougher enemies. So just be wary. They can be a little bit more challenging than the rest of the enemies. Usually it's best to... I think it's best to kill the little enemies first. Because, yeah, the big enemy usually is fine on their own. There's rare circumstances where the enemy... The big enemy is like more of a threat. Like the magma... the Iron Atronachs and especially the Crow Wraiths. I hate those things. Or Wraith Crows, whatever they're called. Right, so this is a verse. So these are what you get from completing these stages. So these give you power-ups, basically. And this one's pretty good. So this basically, when this Skeever dies, I can use it and kill everything in a wave. I try to leave it... I try to get him to survive until the last wave, but it's difficult to do. Because he takes a little bit to respawn, so... But I'm pretty sure he taunts enemies, which isn't great. Yeah, hit every enemy once, so that hopefully it causes them to go for you instead of your Ombre. Oh yeah, I couldn't. I'll see if I can kill this guy before they spawn. Can we do it? No. Oh, I only got that one. That's fine. Better than nothing. And it pretty much killed him anyway, so... But yeah, if you go long enough, the Guardian of Pestilence will go up again, and you can just do the same thing. Alright, so that's 2 verses. Simple as that. Transfusion, really good. Basically unkillable, as long as you're dealing damage. But yeah, that's all the verses. Okay, so you might have noticed that I didn't start off this by doing the Golden Vendor. Don't worry. I definitely didn't forget. Definitely. I'm just going to do that at the end. We'll see how it goes. People might prefer it if it's at the end. But yeah, I'm just going to go to Cyrodiil and see it now. Okay, so Baron Zudris Epaulets. Probably wouldn't get this or Kagita just because they're shoulders. I find shoulders to be low value in these just because you can spend keys on these, and that means like you don't need the DLC to spend keys on these shoulders. So you don't need the DLC itself. There's all shoulders are the same, and they're all like worth the same amount of keys. And keys are a lot easier to get than the actual helmets, which require you to do veteran dungeons that are sometimes fake-gated. So I don't suggest getting either of these. That being said, Baron Zudris it's okay. You just have to... It incentivizes status effects to get lots of ultimate. And it can be good, but there's better options out there, I think. I mean, healers and tanks kind of... They spec into status effects a bit because they want the chilled status effect to apply a lot for the rest of their group. So it's okay, but I think in terms of meta, there's like just better sets that are out there anyway. But yeah, just gain ultimate every now and then whenever you apply a bunch of status effects. So things like charged, like a destruction staff with that passive that increases their status effect chance, or maybe even the Threads of War. With Threads of War, this one, every time you light attack, it applies a status effect. So that could proc this pretty quick. But yeah, it's not really a build I would personally go for. But I'm not a theory crafter or anything, so don't listen to what I say. Kagita is okay. I don't see why you'd use this over something like Symphony of Blades, though, myself, if you're trying to give people sustain support. But the rest of it's pretty good. I suppose it's sort of like a hybrid damage dealer support set, which, you know, for people wanting something different, sounds kind of good. But Magicka Stamina, not great for a damage dealer. You want something like weapon damage or crit chance, or maybe pen. And then, yeah, like having the costs as in the same place as the AoEs, sometimes it's not great to stand in the area that the AoE is happening. Like there's certain enemies that you don't want to be standing near. That being said, if you're AoEing everything down, usually AoE skills are the most expensive ones, so that could be good. But the 8 seconds with a 20-second cooldown is not great. Like it could turn off the moment you do want to start using it, using the cost reduction. But it's okay. It's good. But like I said, I wouldn't go for this just because it's a shoulder. Like the set's good, but shoulder's not worth the 100k gold, I think. Automaton. So weapon is spelled to your physical and bleed damage. So considering the fact that all two-handed bow, dual wield, and sword and board, I guess as well, their light attacks are all physical damage. It also applies for them too. But yeah, back in the day, this is one of the really good sets. Back in like 2016 when One Tamriel came out, 2015, something like that. This set was great. But nowadays, it's just about outdated. There's just like other sets that are so much better. Like I'm pretty sure Order's Wrath is just better in general. Just because it's crafted and it's like you don't have to do. Yeah, with Automaton you have to do a dungeon. So I mean it's an easy dungeon, but yeah, it's definitely better sets out there. Defilers. This is so if you've ever seen someone like a dolmen or like in a dungeon or something, and you see them spawn a hunger that follows them around and helps them, this is the set that does that. So if you want that pet, and this hunger is affected by Daedric Curse or Daedric Prey from the Sorcerer Daedric Summoning skill line, because it counts as a Daedric follower or Daedric pet. So that's cool. But personally, I wouldn't use this myself, just because I don't like. Actually, no, it's Defilers is Vardenfell, isn't it? Yeah, I mean it's good. I'd either use this or Venomous for like easy proc sets that aren't too bad, because it's this is really good actually. Weapon crit. I've never looked at this much. But I'll actually no. The stunning enemy bit is rough for trials because you don't really want tanks to be trying to pull in enemies that have been stunned, because they can't do that. So it can annoy the tanks if you use something like this because of the stun bit. Because if you're not familiar, stunning enemies causes them to not be targeted by CC or like affected by crowd control, like stuns, pulls especially, because tanks like to pull everything into one spot so you can either wear them down easily, and if there's like an enemy in the back that is now stunned because of your hunger, they can't grab them, and it makes it a little bit less practical to AoE them down. But yeah, it's not super important. If you're on your own, it's great. But yeah, I wouldn't use this myself just because of that stun. If it didn't have that stun, just like that Fabricant one, I'm trying to remember what it's called. City. Yeah, Mad Tinkerer, this one. Same thing. It's a great proc set, but the stun, I just hate the stun about it. That is the only reason I wouldn't use this. What is the music? The music just stopped. Okay. Oh, there it is. I was wondering where that went. Okay. Widowmaker. Yeah, when you manage to apply a poison, deals tons of damage. I'm pretty sure when this first came out, it was all of its damage instantly, which was ridiculous. I'm pretty certain. Correct me if I'm wrong though. But yeah, it was ridiculous back in the day when this came out. The only thing is poison's always a chance thing, and if you're just trying to fight one person, which this is, it's a poison spawn now as well. So to all enemies within 5 minutes. I mean, it's okay. It's not amazing anymore though, because it's just a damage over time effect that in PvP, it's like damage over time is easier to heal through than like lots of bursts up front. And then in PvE, you don't really use poisons in meta. If you did, this would be okay, but the max stamina is also not great. So yeah, this comes from Cradle of Shadows. It's a very old DLC dungeon, one of the first that ever came out. Eastgrimor, it's okay on a Warden or like a Frost build, especially with Wardens now that they got all their passives buffed in the Frost skill line. But apart from that, I wouldn't use this in any other case. Like, Frost damage is not a damage type that is like there is a lot of, and I find that in most cases you get better damage just from like skill abilities from the other two, because if you look at Wall of Elements, for example, Unstable Wall or Wall of Fire deals additional damage to burning enemies. Wall of Storm sets concussed enemies off balance, which through the Exploiter passive in... Is it Exploiter? Is that still... Does it still affect off balance? Where is Exploiter now? Exploiter. Yeah, so that still works. So you'd get more damage from off-balance enemies through that as well. Whereas the Frost one just makes you more tanky, which is fine. Aside from Chilled as well. Minor Brittle is really good. But that's like a group buff thing, and you can get that from other people. Damage deal is just used fire, usually. That's the only thing about Frost. It's not intended to be the main damage dealer element type. It's supposed to be like the utility damage type. But yeah, if you want to use that, it's fine. It's another set that's like easy to get. Like this comes from the Rift, does it not? Or is it Eastmarch? No, it's the Rift. So it's easy to get. The Domins in the Rift are pretty easy to get through. So yeah, I wouldn't really go this, because if you're not familiar nowadays, if you can get Somerset, I mean, it's talking about paid stuff, Somerset. But yeah, you can kind of upgrade these for cheaper than 125,000 gold using the gold jury materials, and then even then, upgrading this to gold is not worth it. I think if you're really worried about damage, then you really don't want to be looking at a set like this, I think. All right, let me know if you prefer Golden Vendor at the end or at the start. I'm interested to know. But yeah, that's everything. So thanks everyone for watching. If you've got any questions, as always, just let me know. Yeah, see you next time, and take care. Have a good weekend and all that.